R.M. Farquhar and R.D. Russell. Anomalous leads from the Upper Great Lakes region of Ontario. Ransactions, American Geophysical Union. So on. Buy them. These guys, these are recognizable people in this field. So the above authors, Farquhar and Russell, were concerned about the fact that too much radiogenic lead was present in certain supposedly ancient lead ores to harmonize with the false theory that common lead has been uniformly enriched during geologic time with increments of radiogenic lead, as evidenced by the larger proportions of lead isotope 204 in older common leads. These anomalous, i.e. so-called abnormal leads, show less 204 lead than should be present according to the theory. The really significant thing, however, is that it is thereby evident that radiogenic lead can contaminate any uranium-lead bearing mineral to an unknown amount and thereby make any age determination on it meaningless. Get that? Just can't figure it out, so it's got to be meaningless. You don't know precisely what that age determination should be because of the variations in combinations and permutations. So that's such contamination of ordinary lead deposits by radiogenic lead is far from rare, as indicated by the following. True ordinary leads are probably derived from below the crust, and anomalous leads are derived in turn from these by variable radiogenic contamination in the crust. Thus, ordinary and anomalous leads form a series rather than two distinct groups. It is likely, furthermore, that no absolutely ordinary leads occur on the Earth's surface, as all have probably received at least minute radiogenic contamination in coming from the mantle. Stanton and Russell go on. Thus, as Boyle recognizes, the ratio of the lead isotopes in deriving their lead from such rocks is, therefore, neither a measure of the age of the deposits nor the age of the sedimentary host rocks, but is rather a function of the complex geochemical processes through which the lead may have passed. Too many things have a possibility of happening. So this way of determining how old something is not reliable. In spite of the necessarily unknown amount of radiogenic contamination of all lead deposits, the false theory that common leads have been uniformly enriched by gradual accumulations of radiogenic lead during geologic time has been made the basis of probably the most important present geological estimate of the total age of the Earth's crust, leading to a false figure of the order of 5 billion years, as Harrison Brown claims. Thus, solely on the basis of the isotopic composition of common leads, we can say that the age of the Earth probably lies somewhere between 3.1 and 5.6 billion years. Oh, that's significant. Pin it down, you know. Harrison Brown's In the Age of the Solar System. Scientific American. Well-respected magazine. This sort of calculation, though containing numerous unverifiable assumptions, has been widely accepted and circulated. It would seem, however, that it is quite possible for any lead deposit or any mineral containing lead, including the uranium minerals on which most age estimates have been based, to contain substantial, though unknown, amounts of antecedent radiogenic lead. This would necessarily make all such age estimates too high by an unknown amount. Instrumental errors in mass spectrometry may also yield consistently high apparent proportions of lead-204 and lead-207. And finally, redistribution of elements by renewed hydrothermal activity may be a serious source of error in all lead methods. Fall in his work. Okay, other lead-age methods are not accurate. Still other methods have been used to some extent, for example, the thorium-lead-208 ratio. As Aldrich says, however, the two uranium-lead ages often differ from each other markedly, and the thorium-lead age on the same mineral is almost always drastically lower than either of the others. L.T. Aldrich, Measure of Radioactive Ages of Rocks, Science magazine. Apparently, let me get that up again, a satisfactory explanation of this conflict is not yet available. Most of the ages obtained by the lead-thorium method disagree with the ages of the same minerals computed by other lead methods. The reasons for this disagreement are largely unknown. They're just off. Henry Fall, Nuclear Geology. Another method is the lead-210 method. Lead-210 being a particular stage in the decay series leading to lead-206. The ratio of lead-206 to lead-210 is used to compute the age of the mineral. But as Fall says, unfortunately, the lead-210 method is subject to similar errors as the lead-uranium and lead-lead methods, owing to loss of constituents of the radioactive series of leaching or emanation. The very light gas, helium, is a product of the disintegration of uranium and thorium. Along with lead and helium, measurements in minerals have long been used as indices of age. The method has had many ups and downs in the favor of geophysicists due to experimental difficulties and the presumed ease of helium leakage. In the recent review of the present status of all the various radioactivity methods, Dr. Adolf Knopf concludes, because of such uncertainties about the helium age determinations, the method has again fallen into nearly complete disuse. From Adolf Knopf, Measuring Geologic Time, Scientific Monthly. These guys are not unknown publicists or scientists in the field. Now we have conclusions on the accuracy of lead age methods. After listing all the various requirements for successful determination of an age by the lead method, Ransactions says, no radioactive minerals have been analyzed that satisfy all these requirements. Consequently, errors are liable to creep into the calculated lead ages. In particular, the alteration of radioactive minerals is the cause of errors in the age values. Even the freshest looking minerals usually have gained or lost some quantities of the pertinent nuclides. Calerivo, Rankama, Isotope Geology. In view of all the sources of error in the various uranium-thorium series methods, it is small wonder that most age measurements have been found hopelessly discrepant and have been rejected. Only those few minerals which give agreement by more than one method are now considered really reliable, and these are so few and far between that at least some of these apparent agreements can be explained on the basis of pure chance. Now here we go. The vase, found in prehistoric rock, indicates civilization has always been extant, pointing to a recent creation which always included mankind. I had to throw this in there because I had the conversation with this young man, and I mentioned the vase, and he wanted to know where it was. And I didn't have time to look up my website. He just didn't want to. You know, here's somebody who argues and argues and argues and argues, like a Gatling gun. When he runs out of ammunition, you start up and he runs. Okay, here it is. The picture. Vase was found in 1851 in Dorchester, Massachusetts. That's America. It was discovered in solid rock. The rock formation is known as the Roxbury conglomerate, which is Precambrian, supposedly over 534 million years old. This rock is supposed to be a record of life on Earth before any multicellular life evolved. Yet here is an undeniable human artifact. Man supposedly appeared no more than 2.5 million years ago in his most primitive form, according to evolution. This object refutes the whole evolutionary interpretation of the strata we see worldwide, and supports the creationist assertion that most of the strata were formed during the global flood. This could be an artifact from a pre-flood civilization. The June 5th, 1852 Scientific American article, pages 298 to 299, about this alloy vessel says something interesting. The editor suggests the vessel may have been by Tubal-Cain, the biblical father of metallurgy. Tubal-Cain is found in Genesis 4:22 before the flood. This same scientific magazine today is totally anti-creationist and anti-biblical. Darwin had not succeeded in getting the educational institutions to preach his theory yet. The evidence supports a literal reading of Genesis and totally destroys the evolutionary idea of millions and billions of years for the formation of the geologic record. There you go. I am not alone. Here's an excerpt from an article. Rock samples from 22 volcanic rocks in different parts of the Earth are known to have been formed during the last 200 years. Yet radioactive dating methods provided ages that range from 100 million to 10,000 million years. Some Russian volcanic rocks, only a few thousand years old, were labeled as being from 50 million to 14.6 billion years old. In Hever, volcanic rocks only 81 years old have been judged from 400,000 to more than 3 billion years old. Am I the only one who thinks that empirically demonstrable error by a margin of 14.6 billion years, yes, that's billion with a B, is somewhat off the mark? There are two things going on here. Erroneous results when we have rock of known age and multiple discordant dating results on the same samples of rocks of known and unknown age. Over and over again. Just, you can internet it, look it up. In other words, the results from 22 samples of lava rock of known age subjected to radiometric testing have been relegated to the dung heap of aberrations by advocates of evolution. Yet these aberrations are the only objective tests we have to determine if radiometric dating itself is reliable. Anyways, any case. Let's move this over here. The evolutionists reject these ancient age designations as errors when the rocks are of known recent age, so why should they not reject them when the rocks of unknown age? Well, because the ancient age designations are useful to evolutionary propaganda, of course. I am not unaware of any radiometric testing of rock of known age which has not given greatly erroneous results. To put this in positive terms, all radiometric tests of rock of known age have given erroneous results. If there is anyone who knows of any examples of radiometric tests of rock of known age which have yielded correct dates, please inform me as soon as possible. Wise up, my dear hominid. We're being duped. We've been duped. The great Darwinian propaganda machine of our government education system and its media outlets has no interest in objective search for truth. It is all about protecting their turf and the hundreds of billions of dollars of public money funneled in their direction. Okay. So I think we got a reflection on this. And that's about all we need on these comments. Just do your own studies. Answersingenesis.org has enough in there as well.